Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I just read an interesting article on boxingscene.com with my man Deontay Wilder, and he was talking about that the Klitschko's um that their era, you know what I mean, it was boring. A lot of people were not interested in heavyweight boxing when they were on top. And I'll leave the link to the article in the description box. I'm not gonna go over everything he said verbatim. You guys can read it. Click on the link, read it, and come to your own surmise about it. But from what I read, though, he said a lot of interesting things. You know what I mean? There was some boredom going on in the division. You guys know that I've been talking about heavyweights, man, since 2010 on YouTube, and not really a lot of excitement for these heavyweight fights. At least when I would do videos, didn't really get a lot of interaction, man, in like 2010, 2011. Although my channel was growing, just people really didn't care about the heavyweights. Everybody knew Klitschko or the Klitschko's, depending on if Vitali wasn't retired. But when he was active and fighting, people looked at those two as the best. So there's really not much to talk about until they lose. You know what I mean? And I think the most exciting it got that I can remember, man, is when David Haye was getting ready to fight Vladimir. That's like the only time that I can really sense like it was like some excitement. You know what I mean? That's the only really time that I sensed it. Rather than that, it pretty much was boring. Now, mainly because of Klitschko's style, although he has a lot of knockouts. And I'm talking about Vladimir. He does have a lot of knockouts, but just the way he goes about fighting his fights with the clinching and a lot of people just don't appreciate that style. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people, they don't appreciate that shit. They don't want to see him do that. You know what I mean? But Wilder didn't say it wasn't a dominant reign. He didn't say that. He just said that it was boring. The Klitschko's made it boring. Vitali, I actually like Vitali, man. Vitali's one of my dudes. I like Vitali, man. I think he's a lot better than Vladimir. I think he's way better than Vladimir. But that's my opinion. But yeah, and there's another thing that Deontay Wilder said in the article that I agree with, or that I like that he said, and he says that he wants to, go undisputed, fight all the other guys. I like that he said that. But the part that really I really like is when he said that he's just happy to be a part of this movement. And the reason I like that he said that it is he knows that it's more than him. Although he's very confident, he thinks he's the best, but he said the movement. And that's what it's going to take for this new era or to be where it is right now, a movement. Not only do we need the American Deontay Wilder to do his thing, but we need Anthony Joshua. We need Joseph Parker. We need all the upcoming contenders that's hungry for title shots. We need a mixture of some of the older fighters from a few years ago that were around, like Carlos Takam and guys like that to stay around the division. Hopefully Povetkin and Lucas Brown can get their shit cleaned up, man. Because I want to see them. I'd rather see them dudes lose in the ring than lose in a courtroom. You know what I mean? But I want them dudes to come in and not have any discrepancies with drug testing and all that type of shit. And let's get them in there too. I think this new cast, this new wave of heavyweights mixed with some of the guys from the last 5 or 6 years that were top contenders, that are still around, still giving it a go. You know what I mean? I think this new mixture is exciting. Whether you hate Deontay Wilder, you think he's a bum, he hasn't fought, a top, all the stuff you guys always say, you know what I mean? That's fine. You can have your opinion. I have my critiques about not only Wilder, but all the heavyweights, you know what I mean? Even Tyson Fury, I want to see him clean his shit up too and get back, man. But then you got Huey Fury. I mean, this cast of characters is making it exciting. It doesn't matter who you like or who you hate. That's just irrelevant, man. As long as you tune in, and hey, some of you probably want to see Wilder get knocked out, but that's the excitement. That's the excitement. You're going to watch to see him get knocked out. He has a lot of fans that want to see him go undisputed. The excitement, man. No matter what you think of him, the excitement. Same thing for Joshua. Same thing for Parker. That's what the thing that was missing when Klitschko, in 2010, 2011. So that's what was missing. Not only was Klitschko just dominant, but that was missing. Also, another thing that was missing is when the Klitschko brothers were, fighting at the same time, is we had to do the whole 1A, 1B type of thing. What I mean by that was it was 1A, 1B. Vladimir Klitschko was 1A, or however you want to do it. And the other brother was 1B. We never got to decide who's the best. Like, who's the best fighter? That's one thing that era, although Vladimir's still around, but what the time period that Wilder's talking about, to me, that hurt that time gap is we never knew who was the best. I hate 1A, 1B, or they're both the best. I don't like that. I like who is the best. And that's what we're missing. And then with this cast of characters, there is no brothers. There is no, I'm not going to fight him because we're too cool with him. Nah, all these dudes want to prove that they're the best. And it'll get done. Everything's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes I can be very impatient as a fan, man, because I want these fights to happen. But, I know I'm gonna have to be patient and let this shit unfold, but you got, also forgot to mention Luis Ortiz. There's so many, you get what I'm saying? There's so many names now. It's exciting again. Klitschko's still around. You know what I mean? It's exciting again. You know what I mean? Props to Tyson Fury for making it exciting again, starting it off by beating Klitschko. Wilder did his thing with Stavern winning that title. You know what I mean? But I think Fury was a big part of it because he's the one that got the belts, and then the belts got dispersed after that, after he, they stripped him. But it made the division exciting again. Now we're talking about it. You know what I mean? A guy, let's say, for example, a guy like Charles Martin, right? A guy in his position that get all this type of hate, to me, that's more views. More fans are involved. You know what I mean? You could pick any fighter, man. Dominic Brazil, like Dillian White. There's so much excitement going around. I love it, man. So I'm glad that Deontay Wilder came out and said this, and I'm glad that he knows it's a whole movement. It's not just about Deontay Wilder. Like I said, although he's very confident in himself, but he knows this is a movement, and he's happy to be a part of it. And Wilder, in his confidence, he wants to lead this movement. Don't get me wrong. I think he wants to be the leader of it and the man of it. You know what I mean? But he himself knows this is a movement, all of us. Parker, Joshua. Joshua's another one that wants to be the man of the movement when it's all said and done. His first step is fighting Klitschko. All this going to unfold. All this going to unfold. That's why I'm going to sit back. I know sometimes I get very impatient because, like some of you, I want to see these fights, you know what I mean? Now. Let's get the fights now, you know what I mean? But I'm going to be, stay patient. And all this will play out. It'll all play out at the end. But I like it. You know what I mean? It's a new movement, man. And yes, it's more exciting than the Klitschko. When Klitschko was at his, when he was dominating and everybody was bored with the division and, people were getting upset because they couldn't pronounce the names of guys who Klitschko was fighting. Although I never stopped watching the division. And to me, it was just, hey, man, you had two brothers just dominating, the Klitschko boys. And then, so, yeah, it was kind of dry because it was like, damn, and can nobody come close to beating them dudes? Chagayev, all of the dudes, Manuel Char, Pianata, Solis that fought Vitali, Kevin Johnson back then, is like nobody could beat the dudes. Christian Hammer, so now it's a new era. Although Vladimir's still around, but we'll see what he has when he fights Joshua. And if he wins, it's still, a good, it's still a good atmosphere in the division, even if Vladimir wins, because there's so many other talented guys out there that a lot of fans think can beat him now. Whether you want to say it's because he's a little bit older, just the atmosphere is different, and I love it. And like I said, I think the only time it was buzzing when Klitschko and them were fighting, I believe, was when David Haye decided to fight him. Because I remember doing videos about that fight. A lot of fans were picking David Haye to upset him. I picked Klitschko, but you know what I mean? Now, and shit, David Haye, although he just lost to Tony Bellew. You know what I'm saying? I can go name for name. It's a lot more exciting now, and I like it, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.